Happy Thursday and welcome back to the You Good Podcast, the podcast where oversharing is encouraged and the thoughts get real. I am your host, C-Rod, joined as always by my co-host, Nick. Sometimes the moments that end up meaning the most don't feel important when they are happening. Whether it's the last night everybody's together, the last random phone call, the last weekend before life changed, or the last time someone felt like a permanent part of your world. You almost never know it's the last time until years later. Welcome to episode 51. We didn't know it was the last time. Let's get into it.
No, I don't wanna live where I always feel broken. I just wanna live with a heart wide open. I don't ever wanna feel fear anymore. No.
Nicholas, I want to talk about some movies. Have you seen any good new movies lately?
Um, well, funny enough, last week I saw two movies back to back.
Okay.
I saw uh Masters of the Universe
Okay.
in 4D. Fun fact, Florida has one of the first 4D theaters and it's in Deltona. So
And the 4D like shoots smoke at you or shakes the chair or something?
all of it.
What's the fourth?
So it's the whole seat moves. It has smoke, fog, scent, water, extra lights. When you're flying, they have fans that shoot have more air rushing through you. I mean, it was pretty intense. It was like $5 more than a normal ticket. So it
Okay,
was
not
it was
bad.
awesome. It was like a 2-hour amusement park ride.
What was the movie?
He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Okay, the guys from the MCU chat, they were talking about that movie, but I've never seen He-Man.
Oh, well, you're missing out.
I think it's for like we're only a year apart, but
It
I
was
think it's
definitely older, but
okay.
the movie came out in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
But then there was also the show. But like uh you've seen the Skeletor memes. Like
Yeah.
so I mean, he's a part of pop culture and stuff, so
I
but
know.
I
Oh
saw
yeah, I know.
that.
I know who he is, but I didn't grow up watching his stuff. How was that?
I it was awesome. I don't know if you can see it, but I got the drink
Yeah.
sword. So it's a 40-ounce cup, but it's the sword. So it's pretty sweet.
Nice.
Still sealed. But and then the next night I watched Scary Movie.
Oh, okay, good.
So I saw both of them.
Good, because that
Uh
was one of the movies that I wanted to talk about.
okay, did you see it?
So I saw Scary Movie and Backrooms.
Okay, I haven't seen Backrooms, but I heard not I mean, people were just leaving there confused.
That's why I was hoping that you saw it,
Yeah.
because the ending. And
Mm.
I'm not gonna spoil anything for you because you probably wanna see it. I encourage you to see it. The first 30 to 45 minutes was very captivating. There was a lot of questions. What is this? What is that? They got into it. You were engaged. Then there was a little left to be desired towards the end because I walked away extremely confused. And if anybody's seen Backrooms, please comment, text me, whatever. I want to talk to somebody about it because I haven't talked to anybody who's seen it yet. I have a lot of questions, so you're gonna have to see it, and then maybe
Well,
we'll
that's
talk
what
about it.
I've heard is just a lot of confusion,
Yeah.
and that was a kind of a deterrent. But Scary Movie, we can talk about Scary Movie.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. What's your rating? What's your thoughts on Scary Movie?
oh, I loved it. I thought it was great. I think it was a breath of fresh air, as far as uh, like those mockumentary type films. Uh, I loved it. There was quite a few times I found myself like belly laughing, like just like really laughing. The scene where Smokey's got his song
With
and it's
the
the
demon
K-pop.
K-pop demon
Yeah.
hunters.
Yeah, dude, that I just lost it. Uh, that was super catchy and a couple others, but I don't really wanna ruin it, but,
Mm.
uh, there was it was good. I liked it.
I It was interesting, right? Because there's two storylines in that movie. The first storyline is the nostalgic storyline with all the OGs, and then the second storyline is all the new kids, the young generation melding together, which is fine. But I thought there was a it might have leaned on the old nostalgia a little too much for me. I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was a great movie. I laughed a lot. There were some parts where I was like, okay, whatever. But that scary movie, that's what it is. But I thought there was a lot of callbacks to like the first three movies and literally like exact scenes that they were reenacting with these OGs where it's nice, but I don't know. Because then the other part of me is like, okay, well, if they didn't do that and then they filled it with something else that was a little less funny, I don't know how it would have been. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I yeah, I don't there may be some parts, but I didn't see it like that to where it was like leaning heavy on nostalgia. I feel because they didn't write any they only wrote the first two and then the rest of the
Mhm.
series wasn't them. I feel like you get more of the first two movies, like where like the callback to Ray being gay and all that, like it but with Ray in the sinners church.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
but like I said, it was I don't know, for me, it was, needed for comedy, like, "Hey, just make fun of whatever you wanna make fun of," you know?
And it's funny because Callie and I watched it and then we went back and I was like, man, I just can't remember the last time there was a parody movie. Cause back then they were all over the place, like movie 54 and not another teen movie, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Evans.
Yeah, there were so many parody movies that were just so funny, and then they just kind of stopped. So for me too, it was definitely a breath of fresh air, and I'm hoping that the success makes movie and filmmakers go back to that parody of comedy, and they realize maybe we can just get away from the cancel culture and all
Yeah,
of the
just make
sensitive
the
people and just
joke.
put it out there.
Just make the joke.
Yeah.
Whether it's, like, these parody films or not, just make the joke. If it's funny, don't worry if you're gonna like, it's like you said, the cancel culture. I think that's definitely why they went
Mhm.
away. I mean, I couldn't see another teen movie being made,
I mean, there's so many.
like,
There's
made
so many
today.
movies that you're like, in today's world, they couldn't exist.
What it's
You
like
could
the song in Not Another Teen Movie is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, where they're all singing, like, the opening credits song.
So I was looking at some of the, like, top parody movies, the top satire movies, and I think most of them stopped around 2010. So since
Mm.
if you were to go back and, like, look at since 2010, there's just not a lot. Not a lot. But then you go back, they dominated the early 2000s, especially when Scary Movie was coming out.
Right. I think when Scary
2001 to
Movie came out, it was
2008,
like, "Oh, we can
there were
do
parody
this," and
movies
they
almost every year. So,
yeah.
I agree. I think it was a good movie. I'll probably watch it again, sail the 7 seas and pirate it and watch it again, but, I encourage people to watch it. I thought it was a good movie. It's funny because the critics they just keep bashing it and bashing it and bashing it, but it's already broken the $100 million mark.
Yeah, I mean, I I want them to make a White Chicks too. This is the only way it happens.
Yeah. You think they would? I don't think they would.
No, they won't, but, one can dream.
And I think that's what they alluded to, and I think that's why they did that, but
Yeah, 1,000%. The ones I saw that, I was like, "Damn." But alright.
Any other movies or anything that you've seen? That was really the only two that I wanted to cover. So if anybody's seen Backrooms, hit me up. If you like scary movie,
I want to
drop a
see
comment.
Obsession. I haven't
Mm.
seen that yet, but I want to watch Obsession.
Yeah, that one's crushing it too. Apparently, that actress made $20,000, and now everybody's all up in arms about how much she got paid.
So what?
They don't
She should have worked for points.
they don't understand budget,
If
I
it
guess.
Most of my friends that like Danny, we work for points.
Mhm.
Like at the end of the day, if it blows up, now you're covered.
Right.
She went for the quick payday. Uh,
Yep.
That's on her.
Yep.
Negotiate,
There it is.
but
The art
I
of
don't know.
negotiation.
The art don't. Don't even go there.
Well, we are 1 week away from 1 year of the You Good podcast.
That's crazy. And it's falling in Men's Mental Health Month
It is. It's all coming together in one.
or Gay Pride Month, whichever you prefer.
Well, I have thought about this, and it sent me down a massive rabbit hole, especially with every month meaning something to some different crowd about whoever you ask it to. And it got me thinking with kind of like, I don't even know how to word this because it's not disrespect, and I don't mean that in any way. But it's like, well, is there any correlation between mental health awareness and Pride Month and why they were nominated together or put together? Have you thought about that at all?
I I I've never thought about why they were put together. Didn't really know it was men's mental health since uh I don't know, pride's been so prevalent. And again,
Mhm.
like not to take away anything from anyone, but I don't know. I found it when I found that out that it's also Men's Mental Health Month. I'm like, why is that not also talked about as much as Pride Month? And that's the only thing I have a problem with. Like, I have no problem sharing it. I Let's share it with everyone, but
Yeah.
let's also scream that it's Men's Mental Health Month as well. I mean, I mean, God forbid, suicide rates in general, but 80% of suicides are men. So uh, it's one of those things. It's like it's important, just as it's important that the LGBTQ have their month as well. I think both can coexist, and I think it just needs to be. I think more people need to shed light on that it is Men's Mental Health Month as well.
Do you think that so the crazy thing to me is May is National Mental Health Awareness Month. It's not just specifically men, which again, I didn't know that it was just Men's Mental Health Month until we started doing this podcast.
Mhm.
And so then the question becomes, okay, is it like mental health fatigue then? Because we already know that people don't want to talk about mental health, especially men. And
Right.
going from 4 weeks of mental health awareness month, it's also National Women's Health Month, then right into Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Is that kind of maybe why that people forget that now it's just about men? Is it burnout from just mental health awareness?
Uh, I don't know if it's that or just not advertised. Like, growing up, I'm sure it was the same. I'm not sure when the days and months and all that started, but I'm sure they existed even, let's say, 20 years ago. But I didn't know that it
Yeah.
was men's mental health until, like you said, till we started doing this. So a year ago, so it's it's kind of it's kind of crazy that it's not but I don't it's crazy to think about, but it's not unexpected, I guess, at this point with how little men want to share and talk about what's going on in their heads anyway. So it's not, like I said, not unexpected, but just still crazy to think about.
Yeah. And I think it also comes down to, like you said, awareness has to do with these corporations and these marketing machines. I think a lot more corporations are going to market something like Pride Month and less. You don't see companies, organizations, corporations touting Men's Mental Health Awareness Month this month.
Where's the money in that?
Exactly.
I'm like,
Exactly.
there's no money in that. It's not pretty. Is men's mental health ain't pretty. So
Mm.
that's honestly that's probably why we don't know about it. It ain't pretty. So
There's a reason that men don't talk about it or open about it as much, and I think that that's why we're here to kind of change that stigma. Uh, Transition point from men's from Mental Health Awareness Month to our rotational opener of one word mental health check-in, and I have been thinking a lot about this word, and I'll just open up and say it, especially on Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Is my check-in word is going to be overburdened.
mm,
Overburdened, and I will share that the other day I cried for the first time probably since I found out that Carter was born with a heart condition and needed to go into heart surgery at 6 days old. So it's probably my first time crying in 3 years, 3-ish years.
okay.
And I'm gonna put that out there because not a lot of men talk about crying, and I texted a few people, and I guess I should clarify what if I've been overburdened with, and why was I crying? But it's been a rough few weeks. Um, Callie fell and slipped and broke her ankle in 3 places. Actually, she just had surgery today while we're recording this. So I came straight from the hospital to record this episode, and that's been a lot when it's when you have 3 kids, right? I'm so thankful for Kelsey and Dale because they have Kinsley and they're helping out with the kids. And my parents, I'm so thankful are here because they're taking Tegan and Carter. But before, that's not going to last all summer, and it's a lot for me to handle with dance, and it was recital week. While I'm trying to maintain work, drive my bicycle broke, and when I was driving my bike to the bicycle shop to get fixed, my car engine went out. Another just issue on top of issue, and Carter has his surgery coming up in 2 weeks. So it's just been a lot, and I have felt very overburdened. I'm so thankful that it could be worse, right? At the end of the day, it's just car troubles. She had a medical injury. Thankfully, it's an ankle. It could have been something much worse. She could have slipped and fell and hit her head or broke something, right? And I realized that, but I think it's okay for me to say that I have been burdened, and it has just been a very hard 4 to 6 week stretch where everything seems like it's not going right.
Mm. No, I sorry you're going through that, brother. Uh sometimes you gotta cry. You haven't cried in 3 years? Dude, I'll put videos on just to that I know that are just gonna just make me cry, like, and not like cry, but just like shed a tear, and I'm like, oh, that, and most of the time they're just like happy go lucky stuff that I'm like, oh, people are so like it's the good side of human nature, right? Like not the bad stuff. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I'm sorry you're going through that for sure.
I appreciate it. I'll overcome it, and yeah, I try to not cry because I always try to look at it as like it's a blip. It's just a speed bump in the road. But I don't know. Sometimes you get hit so hard with so many speed bumps, so many lefts and rights, and you're just like, I know that I'm gonna get back up, and I know that I'm gonna keep moving forward. I know that this, life just fucking sucks. But yeah, my car engine went. I got home. I sat down in my desk, and I was texting Dale, and just all of a sudden I was just like, I just started crying. I was like, oh my
Let it
god,
out.
Yeah, I called my mom a little bit after that. I was like, "I feel better."
Yeah, no, sometimes you just gotta let it out
Yeah.
and do it in silence if you want, but you gotta let that out somehow. That's it's either that or a heart attack. So I figured that's probably the better thing to do is probably just let it out that way rather than just keep it inside till the heart wants to just give out.
Oh god. I think I'll take a nice cry over a heart attack
Yeah,
for sure.
same.
How about
Same.
you? What's your one what's your one word mental
Uh,
health check-in for
I
Men's
mean,
Mental Health Awareness Month?
probably polar opposites. I'm excited for the future. And
Beautiful.
more importantly, the next 6 months, the second half of this year is going to be pretty fantastic. Just work wise, projects are getting done to where we'll have multiple SKUs, which just means more revenue streams and stuff like that for us, which is great. And then just uh, things are going great in my private life, so everything's going great in that aspect. So just excited to see what's gonna come of the future. And in the past, it's been more of like a pessimistic type view of like, oh, when's the other shoe gonna drop? And it's like, keep dropping. At this point, whatever. I'll just keep rolling, roll with the punches.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was gonna say. I love the non-pessimistic approach to it because even, before when things were going well, you're like, but,
Yeah,
but
yeah. No,
now
I mean the
now
other
it's,
shoe's gonna happen. Yeah.
you know, you don't say that. It's only up, up and away. Up, up and away. Well, let's get this thing rolling then. It's funny, right? How we think about, I think we've talked about nostalgia a lot, and I think today is not so much about nostalgia, but more about just growth and growing up and realizing, to live in the present, you can take a picture or a song or a random memory, and maybe it takes you back, maybe it makes you cry, maybe it thinks you, makes you think about a version of life that maybe you don't wish you were there anymore, but you still miss it. And whether that's college or whether that's younger years, whether we're talking about baseball or t-ball or whatever it is, but what I want people to think about is just that friend group that felt permanent, or the people we saw every day. I mean, maybe if it was even high school where we all had BFFs for FFF forever, and it was the chapter where, oh, when we go to college, we're always going to stay together and we're always going to stay in touch, and we're going to be best friends. And then all of a sudden, you don't talk to that person anymore. And maybe it's not something that happened. Maybe it wasn't a falling out. Maybe it was just people grew in different ways. But I want people to think about, do you remember the last time your whole group, your friend group was together, or that whole group text or group chat that they were together? Let me ask you, Nick, when did you realize that a chapter of your life, whether it be family or friends or a group, was actually over?
Oh man. Never when you're in it, obviously. Probably my first dose of that was when I went from middle school to high school, and I went. So all my friends went to Pine Ridge, and I ended up going to uh, Deltona.
Mm.
And I mean, the people I grew up with, hung out every weekend, and then that just starts fading. Um, Fading away to where you're more just acquaintances, and then you're like, but I mean, we were best friends, and it's no fault to anybody, but it's just life, right? I guess circumstances, and things like that just made it that way. but I didn't, and even in high school, I probably didn't notice it as much because I still was trying to attempt to hang out or, keep the communication open. But then definitely it's like, oh, you get to college. Well, that group of friends is no longer friends. They're definitely acquaintances. And it's like the people you thought were best friends end up just moving down the line to eventually maybe you don't even talk to anymore. And what got me really thinking about this was my brother. He decided he was gonna go move to Atlanta, and
Okay.
it was just one of those things like, oh, well, didn't think this was gonna be the last meal, like,
Yeah.
and that was Sunday, and it was normal Sunday dinner, but not, because he's moving away now, uh, and then the wheels start spinning, and you're like, oh, well, when was the last time I hung out with the neighborhood kids? Well, shoot, it's 30 years ago. When was the last time I hung out with the high school kids? It's like, well, more recent, but but still long. Then it's college. Br- Frat brothers that I wish could talk to, but I can't because I don't have a way to get a hold of them, and they're not on Facebook or anything. So it's like life's going on, and these people aren't in my life, so it is what it is.
I I think that there's 3 buckets at least where I put people into: childhood, college, and adulthood. I look at college as a completely I put childhood as, like, high school and below, and
Mhm.
then the college years, I don't look at college as, like, 4 years. I look at college as, like, 6 or 7 years because there was still that lingering of, people graduating, leaving, or people staying around. Like, even myself, I didn't immediately leave after Orlando after I graduated. So I was still around for another year or so post graduation, and then I moved. And now I think of people in my adult world that I classify as like Tampa, or people that I've met since I've moved out here that have been through work, or something like that. And it's really hard because some of my best years were in college and some of my best friends were in college. But like you said, like even in the group chat, it just doesn't feel the same. And I want there to that connection to last. But a lot of my connections have gone back to reconnecting with like my childhood friends or my high school and below. And I feel like that there's been a drop off of my interactions with my college friends. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I Trust me, I know exactly what you mean. I think the last time I'm gonna is gonna be a year ago. I think the last time I saw 3 of my frat brothers, we all got together right before the 4th of July. Then we made plans to get together for the 4th of July, and then I wasn't able to make it. So then life happens and you don't see each other. I mean, birthdays, you try to reach out, but I don't know. Those ones specifically, like the frat brothers, it's like we could not talk for 10 years and we'd pick up exactly where we left off. Just a little bit more catching up to do.
Mhm.
But uh and it makes me wonder, like, why did like you said, the bucket, like the childhood, high school era, college and beyond, is like, why did the high school one, why isn't the same? Why can't I pick up with people I had a bunch of core memories with, like we can? Is it because we were adults when we were making these core memories with these people? Or I don't know what, but it makes you just wonder, right? Like, why is it this way with them and not another group?
I have a theory because this actually happened. So Kinsley, my oldest daughter, is going into 6th grade, and unexpectedly her mom moved, bought a new house. She had to switch schools, She's going into a school she wasn't prepared to go to. She was supposed to have another 4 years at the school she was in. We sent her there because they went all the way through whatever it was, eighth grade, ninth grade, whatever it is. And she unexpectedly had to switch schools. With that came unexpectedly switching dance studios. So they
Oh,
just had their last recital, and I walk over, and everybody's bawling their eyes out. And I'm like, "What's wrong with these girls?" I'm like, "Well, Kinsley's leaving. We're so sad. We're not going to see her anymore." I'm like, "Well, you're still going to see her," but they're like, "It's not 4 days a week, right? It's only maybe once a month when the two studios get together, or before recital where they practice together. But that's recitals are only twice a year." And it got me thinking, and I said to her, here's the advantage that you have that we don't. You can give your friends now your parents' phone numbers. If anybody has tablets, emails, you know, some of these kids have Facebooks, Instagrams. I said to her, we didn't have that luxury. There were
yeah.
points in our life where maybe we were 9 or 10 years old on a travel baseball team and we loved these guys that we were hanging out with, right? Or she goes to summer camp and she meets somebody that she likes. Well, she can give her mom this number or this number. For us, that wasn't really a thing because there was no social media. You weren't giving out, home telephone numbers all the time. We didn't have the cell phones to just be like, "Oh yeah, have your mom call my mom or text my mom or dad." And there were points in our lives where we would meet awesome people, and that was the only interaction we were going to ever have with them. Where kids today, there's a little bit more flexibility on who they can be friends with and who they can maintain relationships with. And my theory is, for us with high school, for us in our childhood, maybe we disconnected from those people. And by the time Facebook and everything came back around, we were adults. And it was like, "Oh, I haven't seen you since middle school and I'm in college now. How are you?" And now we're trying to reconnect with some of those people that were the foundation of our childhood. Does that theory make sense?
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, I haven't really given much thought to that. It made me wonder the other day, and it's like, well, why is it? And technology could definitely be playing a part in it. We didn't have that growing up, so keeping in touch or anything like that was a lot more difficult for sure.
So just with all those theories, is there a period in your life that you miss because of the people that were in it, whether you are still together with them or not?
There's a few phases of life that I definitely miss. I miss like the neighborhood kids where we would ride bikes, manhunt. One of my best friends, I mean, my buddy Taylor, I still will see occasionally around to this day, and every time it's like, "Oh, we should get together, we should catch up," and we just never do. It's just
Yeah.
always in passing, and I mean, when my dad died, basically lived at this kid's house, so it's like, I part of me definitely misses that and the relationship we had, but also, like, it's to no fault of either one of us that we just, we didn't well, we ended up going to college in the same town, but not the same school. And then, we went to each other's, campuses like once, and then that was pretty much it. We had our own life going on, and that I think just kind of started it. But yeah, that, and then I think I didn't realize at the time, but probably back when I was 16, when me and my brothers, we all lived together. Um, because my brother decided, my middle brother decided at 16 he wasn't gonna live with my mom anymore, and he ended up going and living with my grandparents. So at the time, you didn't know, like, hey, this is only gonna be temporary type thing, a summer or whatever, and it ends up, no, he graduated from Vero, like, he so that time, I guess I would like to go back and be like, hey, like enjoy these times because you you know you don't know that it was the last time you went out and played baseball with your team. And I mean, you kind of do in high school, but in middle school or little league, that sort of stuff,
I mean,
kind of.
even then, even in high school, I don't think we take the countdown seriously. I know that I didn't, right? When you're in high school, you want to get out, you want to go to college, but then you get out and you go to college and you're like, oh, well, one day I'm going to grow up and I'm going to do adult things. And then you get out of college and like, well, fuck, man, I wish I was back in high school right now. Like high school wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I- like
Right.
even if you're high school, even if you had a shitty time in high school, it's like, okay, I had more fun than whatever it is I'm doing now in adult life. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Most people can say, I don't know. A lot of people that hated high school probably would be like, "Oh, I wish I went back." But like comparing high school, even terrible experience in high school, you didn't have bills. You
Mm.
know, like you didn't have to work in order to survive. You were lucky enough. Well, again, maybe some people were wards of the state. I guess I'm just my experience was not that, so I'm just trying to, like, think of other people. I'm like, "Well, shit, I'm generalizing, I probably shouldn't."
Yeah.
So
I mean, high school probably wasn't good for those people that went to juvie and then went to jail. They probably were like, fuck, you know.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know
No.
if they would say it's better now or better back then.
I mean, sometimes it's not the group you miss the most. And you and I are in fraternities. We've talked a ton about how big our fraternity were, how clicky they were. You think that, the group fades, you start to hang out with specific people or miss certain people. And you just mentioned, a specific person that was a part of your childhood and that you miss. Do you think that growing apart or falling out is a failure to anybody? Or does it truly become
Oh,
that
that's
we
a
put too much pressure on BFFEs, on friendships lasting forever? Because when we make these friendships, a lot of the times we don't have the mental capacity to think these 3 or 4 years is a very short span of our life. And then it's, oh, now I'm 40, now I'm 50, and I've been on this planet for 50 years, and maybe I only spent 2 years with that person, like we've talked about on some of the older, past episodes.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, dude. I don't know if it's, like I guess it would just be circumstance and life. It's unfortunate that these things happen, but I don't think you can avoid it. I think also when we're younger, we don't have those life experiences to where we like, oh, I'm gonna like now we know we have to work on relationships if you want to keep them, right? Like back then, we just they're gonna always be here, but the minute someone moves away, it's like, oh, now it becomes work. Do I want to put that work in? And
Mhm.
most people are fucking selfish. So the answer is no. I'm gonna now just worry about my own life and things going on in it. And I don't know if there's pressure. I know I never put pressure on like the be best friends forever shit. I know I have some really good friends that I've had since I was, in first grade, but I don't think that's normal. I don't think that's normal at all. I think I'm lucky that those relationships worked out through all those buckets. Like I can look back and like they were in every bucket, even though they might not have been a
Mm.
plentiful in those time. Like in college, I know for a fact my friend Danny, we hung out a few times in those 4 or 5 years, but I've probably hung out with him more as an adult than we did in those times, and it's just
Yeah.
I think it takes work. The people you want to be in your life, to play a prominent role in your life, I think, they will. I think that's kind of like a natural thing, but it also is like how much work are you putting in or did you put in to now these people want to be a part of your life for all these milestones and vice versa. Um, I think that's a testament to more the work you put in early on, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, you mentioned something about convenience, and you mentioned something to just about like the situation that they're in or you're in. And I think a lot of it has to do and has to be with relative to where you live and where you're at. Because I think about so many of my friends groups, and I mean, just thinking about like the people I live with in college, where I get so jealous sometimes when they hang out because some of them, they live in the same hometown. So when somebody comes to visit for the holidays, they have the benefit of getting together, and it's a lot harder for me because I live all the way up here, and it's like, oh, he's coming in town. I don't know if I can drive 4 or 5 hours to get down there. And then I have, people that I went to like middle school with that are still best friends and their kids are growing up. And it's like, well, all five of them still live in Deltona. And, maybe if I still lived in Deltona, I would see people every day. I think about the baseball guys and like Dylan and Brett and Chris and Selmo, where I would love to see them all the time, but we all live across the country now. And it just, I think it becomes relative of where you live. And if all of those people that you went to high school with or middle school with, or that you grew up with, if you all live in a 15-mile vicinity, of course you're going to hang out together. Of course you're going to see each other. And I think that that's the big differentiator. It's okay, if one of you moved, are you really still going to see each other all the time? Because who's going to put in that effort? So I
No,
think that's a big thing too.
I agree. I think that's a big proprietary, a big, I guess, factor in why you lose touch, when especially when you move away. But I think when we're younger, we don't know no better, right? Like we don't know nothing about the world. I mean, we could be best friends with somebody that we probably wouldn't talk to, as an adult, and only because we didn't know no better, and that's not an excuse or anything, but that's that could also be part of it. Not saying for me that there's anybody in my life that that I lost touch with because like they're just terrible person. But it that could also play a factor.
I know that I could think off the top of my head a few people that I really wished I still talked to. Uh, didn't
Uh,
have any kind of well, I guess the falling out and was, for instance, like we would go through if you go through my text messages, it's always just me. Hey, happy birthday. Hey, happy birthday. Or hey, I'm coming to town. Are you free? And either getting ghosted or no response or them never reaching out. But it's like people like that I kind of miss and like wish, hey, I wish you would have just texted me back or put a little bit more effort into this relationship staying together, and maybe we'd still be friends today. Or it's even complete opposite where I have two people that I'm doing stuff with and seeing them again that I hadn't talked to in years, because one of them I had a falling out with, and the other one we just kind of went along the wayside of, they stopped reaching out. All of a sudden they started reaching out again. We picked our relationship right back up and we're going to start doing things. Or the other person I had a falling out with, we never apologized to each other. Maybe we just saw, hey, it's another guy. So guys don't really apologize. Maybe we're like, well, we were both fucking idiots. And that was 5 or 6 years ago. What are you doing now? Are you cool now? Oh, we're still cool. We're cool again. All right. Let's be friends again. One of them is a female, one of them is a male. And I think that it plays two different roles on into how you interact with those people.
I don't know. I think you should always apologize if you feel you're in the wrong. If you don't. But I mean, men or not, doesn't matter who. I think you should just apologize if you feel like you're in the wrong.
Do you have anybody that you hope is doing well right now that maybe you had a falling out with?
Um, the only people I've really ever had falling outs with are exes. I can't. They're friends. I haven't really fallen out of friend like had a you know anything that would be we're not talking anymore. Um, and sure, I don't ever think about them, but I want them to do well.
Mm,
So, I
yeah.
that I guess.
I will say that I have reached out to somebody who I had a past relationship with, and because of this show, because of this podcast, I reached out to them and I did apologize for how I treated them back then, like knowing that, hey, I was immature. I was, you deserve better, and you have a family now and everything, so of course you deserve better. But maybe this is 20 years too late. But here's, an apology to how I treated you when we were kids. And I don't know. I'm proud of that growth of just it, like it got to the point where you write the text message and you delete it. You write the text message, you delete it. You write the text message and you delete it. I'm like, don't be scared. Like, this is how I feel. Send it.
Mm, yeah.
I
I
don't know.
mean, you're doing it for you at the end of the day because those people probably haven't thought about
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
but it is growth. It's definitely like, oh, I'm mature enough to know that, oh, I wasn't the person I wanted to be or should have been. And
Yeah.
I'm now telling you I wish I was different, but that also doesn't change
It
anything.
doesn't do anything for you. Yeah. 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 I know. That's true. It is more selfish. Well,
That's not selfish. It's growth for sure,
maturity. Yeah.
but not it's not for that person. You have
Yeah.
to know that.
Yeah. Well, we have, so we've talked about groups. We've talked about specific people, right? But I think sometimes it's not just about the groups, it's not about the people. Sometimes it's about the moment,
Mm,
right? It's one more day, like you said, one more dinner. I wish I had another, I didn't know this was going to be my last dinner before my brother moved,
mm,
and it's these family gatherings, or like we've talked, maybe it was that high school moment or that college moment or that music festival moment. Maybe maybe there's a group of people that you went to music festivals with. But when does a memory or a moment become more valuable than the person or the relationship? Have you thought about that? Where
mm,
maybe it's not the person that you're missing, but maybe it was just that moment and they happened to be the one that was there with you.
mm. I don't know. I Man, most of the time when I'm looking like I'm looking off in the distance because I'm thinking, but I for me it's I definitely miss the person more than the moment, but the moments are what get you to think about the person, right? I think like those really deep or important or thoughtful moments that you have that get you thinking about these people are are great, but I think that they're not more important than the person. I think that they would be not as important if the person wasn't involved.
Interesting. Interesting. I think my mind goes back to two examples of cruises, to where a lot of the times I will remember the cruise, I'll remember what happened, I'll remember the moment and why it was such an awesome cruise. And then I'll go back and I'll be like, "Well, what about the people I was with?" But I didn't know them, and one of them I was younger. I think we exchanged MySpaces, that's how
Mhm.
long ago. And then another time was when I think I was in high school, and it's just like I had a great time, but I don't really remember the people that I was with. And sometimes I try to think back on who they could have been. Am I connected on Facebook? Probably not. Well, that's the end of it.
Yeah, I think those people, though, that's what they're meant for. I think those people are meant for moments, not seasons. I think those people are meant to show us those good times or make us feel a certain way in the short time that we know them. But I think that's their purpose. Not everybody's supposed to be there for a season.
Look at you, Mr. Philosophizer. Do you do you have any first days that come to mind, whether it was a first moment or a first person or something that you did for the first time that brings nostalgia that has people attached to it?
My first day of work ever.
Ooh,
I worked for Cheapa Pizza in in Orange City off Graves. And my buddy Al got me the job. And I worked with my other friend Anthony Napoli, called Napoli. Fun fact, ended up working with his brother later in life, so I worked with both the Napolis. Um, but the people, Gary, the guy who owned it, Greg, which I ended up running into a few years back. So hung out with him a few times as an adult. Um, but just that was a specific first. Like I delivered pizzas, so I it was right after I got my driver's license over the summer. Ooh, winter. It was after winter break. I had just got my license, and they needed another delivery driver. So I got the job because I knew Al and had hung out with him almost every day. So it was,
and why does that day still matter? What lingers from that moment? Was it
um
just because it was your first job, or was there something behind it?
just probably no, I mean the first job, but I mean just the camaraderie that they had. I'll never forget. It makes me look like such an idiot, but Greg was making pizza and he goes, "Hey, go in the back and get me a pizza repair kit." I walk in the back, I'm like, "Hey, I need a pizza repair kit." And then they just start ridiculing me because that's, that
There's
doesn't
no such
exist,
thing
you
as a
dumbass.
pizza repair
Yeah.
kit.
Right, yeah, like, but I'm a 16-year-old kid that just wants to do good, so, when oh, yeah, I'm right on it, and you're not thinking, you're just, "Hey, let me get this for him." Oh, shit, and the minute you say it, you're like, "Oh, I'm an idiot," but it's too late, it's already out there at that point, so, uh but that was one.
That's
I mean,
funny.
you said first, so I mean, like, that was just the first thing that popped into my head. First
Yeah,
day
no,
of
it's
college was another one, that popped into my head. Meeting people for the first time that ended up becoming brothers and stuff like that, but ended up being on, move-in day. Um
I hated my first day of college. I it's crazy for me to say, but I was so nervous that I was not going to be able to meet people in college
at UCF.
at UCF.
I went
Didn't
to a tiny ass school that I knew nobody, and I'm like,
um,
okay, here we go. Gotta be an extrovert.
I think the thing is I mean, baseball was my life,
Mm,
up until it wasn't, and then I was gone, and I mean, I was either with the baseball team or with my high school girlfriend, like, that was it. I was either with the guys, or I was with Nicole, or I was with both of them at the same time, and for, like, well, for baseball, 4 years, but when the cold 3-ish, 2 years, like that's all I knew. And when everything was just kind of ripped away because everybody was gone, and I think only Mark Allen went to UCF, it was like, all right, well, who do I talk to now? And what do I talk to them about? Like, do they play baseball? Probably not. Do they play sports? Like, shit. I don't want to look like an idiot. Now I'm just some young kid coming up. I'm a freshman in college. Like I want to mind my P's and Q's. I don't want to get shoved in a locker, even though that doesn't happen in college. I don't know. So many different things going through my head, but I just remember the first day of college, like I was not about that shit. I wasn't
Yeah,
about it.
I was the opposite, dude. I'm not an extrovert until I'm forced to be. Like in then those situations, uh, my parents moved me up there with my brother. Um, I moved into a hall. There's 15 rooms, two dudes to a room. We all shared one bathroom. I mean,
Yeah.
it was multiple stalls and stuff, but 30, 30 plus. I think there was three showers, three stalls,
Yeah.
three sinks. Um, and I didn't know a soul. I'm telling you, I went to JU not knowing anyone, and
Yeah.
first met the people on my hall, met a few people, hung out with them. Then that turns into, oh hey, we're gonna go kick the ball around on the soccer field. So then I'm like, I got nothing going on. I'm gonna go kick a soccer ball. Haven't kicked a soccer ball since I was 7, but we're gonna go play soccer. And then you know where where can I get weed? And then me they for end up being frat brothers, not through the weed, but through the soccer, then through they come over to the apartments and hang out, you know, and then the weed. But yeah, dude, I enjoyed it. I making like I said, I'm not my girlfriend will tell you otherwise, but I'm not an extrovert. Like I like to keep to myself, but she'll say I talk to fucking everyone. So
Yeah. I was shy and reserved, especially in high school, unless I knew you. So coming out into college, like now, I'll talk to anybody. I don't give a shit. I'll approach anybody, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to talk about. I'll strike a conversation wherever we're at, whether it's a bar, a music festival, the grocery store, church. I don't give a shit. But I was so shy in high school that I had no idea what to do when I got to college, and it took me a minute. I think that it's because I wasn't in the freshman dorms; they filled up, and I had to
mm,
go to an apartment complex off
Pegasus
campus, and
Landing,
like that sucked. Yep,
you're
Pegasus
Pegasus
Landing.
Landing, of
Yep,
course. They
and
everybody.
maybe my freshman year would have been completely different if I was in the freshman dorms, but that's why I joined a fraternity. That's why I rushed a fraternity. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
well, I don't know anybody here. I'm not in the freshman dorms. What's the next best way to meet dudes? Go figure out what a fraternity's on.
Over the Pain's hand jobs.
OTPHJs. They're still good to this day. Oh shit. All right. Well, I mean, I think we came back to a super nostalgic, heavy conversation, but I think it's so relevant. Anything else that you kind of wanted to cover in terms of, whether it's a period of time
Yeah.
or
Well,
people or
I have
just a moment?
more of a question for you. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
answer it too, but if
Okay.
you could go back to one specific time or instance and relive it just for the day, like a not necessarily Groundhog Day, but you could go back just for one day. Where would you go and why?
I would go back to high school, and more specifically, the first time I walked onto that baseball field as a high schooler, knowing like this is my baseball field now, and these are my teammates, and these are the guys that I'm going to go to battle with. And why? Because of the passion that I had for the game, more importantly, the bond that I was forming with those guys, whether it was during the summer or during freshman ball or getting called up to varsity, whatever it was, that was a moment that I don't think I've ever had again because my baseball career ended after high school. And I still look at my baseball boys as some of the best parts of my life. And I don't talk to all of them anymore. Some of them I talk to, some of them I don't. And some of them are just not on social media, whatever it
Uh,
may be. So for me, it would be going back to specifically that first time that, you walk on the high school field and you're like, "Oh, whoa, this is a big field. This isn't pony ball anymore."
nice.
How about you?
Um, Man, I would probably go back to the last Thanksgiving that I had everyone.
Hmm.
Uh, and yeah, just for no other reason than like just having that big family again. I definitely miss that.
Hmm. That's powerful too. Now you make me wanna change my answer.
Well, it started with like, well, when, like, with just my brothers, and it's like, well, shit, like, dude, I don't have grandparents. I don't have great grandparents. I don't have uncle. You know what I mean? Like looking back, like I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't even talk to my cousins. You know, like I don't talk to my uncles. I don't talk to my aunts. Um, and it was one of those things like I saw these people all the time. You know, I saw these people a couple times a year, you know, at worst, couple, once or twice every month, at best. But like I said, just they're just gone. You know, like it's not like I can pick up the phone. They're not there. So
That's
probably
tough.
that.
I mean, no, I'm being serious. That's really tough because, like, I think everybody has family that has drifted apart. I have, cousins that, for one reason or another, don't communicate with anymore, falling outs, but, like, the only people right now for me that are gone are my grandparents, who I miss dearly all the time. But for me, if I wanted to reconcile or try to reconcile or extend an olive branch, I could. But
Hmm.
when you don't even have that option, I think that that's what makes it the hardest.
Yeah, but it also makes like I'm thankful that I had those times too. Like I'm thankful that that's an option. You know, if I'm allowed to go back, that's when I'm gonna go back to. So,
Yeah.
but also, and hopefully build my own family to where I have that. Again, uh, later in life. So,
Yeah. It's Family's a weird thing. And I think even in today's world, I think in today's world, it would be so hard to do the big family gatherings. Like my grandparents used to take us on family reunions on a cruise once a year, sometimes twice a year. And it's like I don't even think in today's world and economy that that could even be an option for a large family anymore.
but I don't think it needs to be even something that grand. As it could literally just be
A get
Thanksgiving.
together. Yeah.
We're gonna do dinner.
Yeah.
uh, but it just like I said, if we were to have a dinner now, like in comparison, it would be from like 20, 30 people down to 10.
Mm.
Like it's not it it just life, right? That's life, and it just if anything like this episode, it is just appreciate the now. If if you haven't got anything else from this episode, just appreciate the now more than anything because you don't realize it until it's past that they could have been the best times of your life.
I think this feels a good place. This feels like a good place to land. I agree. I think this is where we wrap this one up, but it gets people thinking about what ordinary moment would you relive? What memory became more valuable with time? What are you experiencing right now that might become a treasured memory later? I.e., having that last dinner with your brother before he moved. But I mean, most of the moments that shape us, they don't feel important while they're happening. What's the Andy saying? You don't know the good times while you're in them from The Office,
Yeah, something
right?
like that.
And sometimes the people that we miss most helped us become who we are now, whether it was childhood, high school, college, even maybe people that are in our adult life that had moved at some point. But like you mentioned, the lesson is appreciating today before it becomes, something that we miss tomorrow. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a good one though. That's a good one. Sir, this time next week, we will be 1 year in to the You Good podcast.
Holy shiznit.
It's absolutely insane. I can't wait to talk about it. I don't know what we're going to talk about. It's not just going to be some normal recap episode, but 1 year, 52 weeks, episode 52. We've come so far from Bro You Good to the You Good podcast. And I can't thank anybody enough. We'll do enough. We'll do more thankings next week. But 52, here we come. Here we come. If any part of today's episode hit home, share it with a friend. Tag us at CrodsPod on Instagram, follow us on TikTok at CrodsPod, and help us keep these conversations going. We drop new episodes every Thursday morning. If you have a story, a topic, or you just need to vent, email us at crodspod@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. Our safe space is your outlet. And until next time, live fast, eat ass, or appreciate it while it's happening. That means two things.
We're not perfect. Them demons watching, but they will not stop.